Today on The Trader, remembering 2001, A Space Odyssey with its star, Gary Lockwood.
I think the people that did 2001 were the kind of people that liked technology, and everybody had a lot of fun together, and I enjoyed being there, and I enjoyed doing it.
And the lingering effects playing Hugh the Borg had on actor Jonathan Del Arco.
Prepare to be assimilated by the Borg. The process will be painless.
All this and more on today's episode of The Sci-Fi Trader. What is the relationship between people and machines? Technology can solve old problems, but it can also create new ones. Hi, I'm Warren James, and welcome to the Sci-Fi Trader. On today's episode, we're going to offer products and meet people that have played a role in defining the way that we view man and technology. In the 1960s, Stanley Kubrick made 2001: A Space Odyssey, a film that explored the relationship between humans and computers. The images from that film are striking, and we're proud to be offering one of them on today's show. It's called Space Station One, painted by master aerospace artist Robert McCall, and every copy is being signed by my next guest, Gary Lockwood. He played astronaut Frank Poole, killed by the Discovery's HAL 9000 computer when it became psychotic. And now Gary Lockwood is here, comfortably in the flesh. Glad you could join us.
I enjoy being here. How are you, Warren?
Oh, I'm great, and you know, it's a pleasure to have you here with me because 2001: A Space Odyssey is my favorite film of all time. And it's an honor to be with you.
If it's not too obnoxious, it's definitely one of mine as well.
I'm glad to hear that.
I like Blade Runner as well. So.
Well, then you got two.
My big two, yeah.
Two good films that you like.
Yeah, that's.
Having worked on 2001, what was your strongest memory of that movie?
I would say the people. I mean, I know it's a big technology picture, and but still, people create technology. So I think people shouldn't be so afraid of technology. A lot of people are very frightened of technology, and they say, "Well, I don't know. You know, I hate my computer." Well, I like technology. We create it. We should learn to live with it. And I think the people that did 2001 were the kind of people that like technology, and everybody had a lot of fun together. And I enjoyed being there, and I enjoyed doing it. It was a real good experience for all of us, you know, not just me.
Well, you know, you worked with Stanley Kubrick, who is one of the most famous and best directors working in the world today.
Yeah.
What was he like to work with?
Well, I'd say that was the best experience I've ever had. I was always heard he wasn't people-oriented and everything of that nature. I found him very much the opposite that he was. He created the best situations that he could for the actor. A lot of actors have worked with him and don't always agree, but in this picture, I thought he did. I mean, he tried to make things as realistically as he possibly could, and we're still making science fiction, you know.
Yeah.
It was still a shot, and but I enjoyed the experience. He's the brightest man I've ever worked for, bar none. And I'm sorry about some of the others I'm offending, but that was the smartest man I've ever worked with in the movie business. And sometimes I was a little competitive with him, and he was, you know, weird with me. I mean, we had our problems here and there, but you know, when you work for somebody that bright, you know, you got to stand back and be objective about a lot of things. And he had a lot of reasons he did things, and you just had to relax to it.
When you were working on 2001, did you have any idea how famous it was going to become?
Oh, definitely. That's a big sort of myth in the newsprint. And, you know, maybe I'm just too egotistical by nature to be humble in these situations, but I think it's ridiculous to be on a movie or anything else when you know it's good and you know you're doing something and then just say, oh, it was so magical and the crew and everybody was so groovy. You know, we didn't have that. This was there were a lot of bright people, a lot of interesting people, and they were not going to spend 2 years together without something of value. And that was obvious to me. And I thought we were going to make a great movie. And I said that, and I still say that. And I'll tell you right now, it was a pain. We got to New York City, and all those 7 giant critics hated us. And where are they now?
You know, we're only, what, 7 years away from the year 2001.
Oh,
and you know, things that we have today, we're going to have in the year 2001, including things like that wonderful painting that we've got from Robert McCall that you just autographed.
Yeah, your poster is wonderful. Just think about 7 years from now, maybe somebody will look at that poster and say, oh, I should have got one of those.
Well, you know, Gary, I really want to thank you for joining us because It's been a pleasure talking to you because, like I said, you helped create one of my favorite movies of all time.
Thank you, Warren. It's my pleasure to be here.
And now we've got this poster, and there are at least 2001 reasons why you should add this poster to your collection. The first reason is this painting is the only place where you'll find Pan Am in the 21st century, since they're out of business now. Now, Darla, what are the other 2,000 reasons?
Well, for starters, Warren, 2001: A Space Odyssey is considered by many to be one of the greatest science fiction films of all time. This 25th anniversary poster featuring Space Station 1 by Robert T. McCall captures the grace and grandeur of Stanley Kubrick's visionary motion picture. This is a limited edition print that was poetically kept at a run of only 2001. It's printed on extra-thick, acid-free museum quality paper, and the Sci-Fi Trader is making this poster extra special with the signature of the film's star, Gary Lockwood. This is an exclusive offer available only here on the Trader. A limited edition print with stunning artwork signed by the star, all yours for only $49.95, and a call.
Lockwood's work has thrilled science fiction fans in more than just one landmark production. His performance as Gary Mitchell, the man who mutated into a godlike being on the pilot episode of the original Star Trek series, is one performance that still sends shivers down my spine. To have his signature on this stunning Robert McCall piece is an extra special thrill for 2001 fans as well as Star Trek fans. As an artist myself, I really admire the way Mr. McCall has contrasted the small patch of warmth of the station against the cold, massive void of space. Just $49.95 plus shipping and handling, and this powerful collectible can be yours.
Josh, I think we're a little short of 2001 reasons there. We'll work on number theory after the show. Coming up next, we're going to use our computer to return to Larry Niven's Ring World. A few weeks ago, Larry Niven was my guest, and we talked about his book, Ring World. We know how many Ring World fans are out there because of the great response we got. And now, we have a way that you can visit Ring World on your own. Joining me is Ken Allen, who is the designer of a wonderful new computer game, Return to Ring World. Ken, glad you could be here to show us Return to Ring World.
Thank you very much.
Why don't you show us some of your favorite parts about this game?
Okay.
You've got some neat elements in here.
This is part of the introduction, and we start out near the Puppeteer Fleet of Worlds. And this is my favorite picture in the whole game, right here.
You know, as a fan of Larry Niven's work, it was wonderful to see his stories come to life on the computer screen.
We did do a lot of research with the existing information that's available in the press. We stayed very faithful to Larry Niven's Ring World and his known space universe.
I know all the fans of Larry Niven's work are really going to appreciate that, because when you look at this, these are Larry Niven stories come to life.
We've heard from a lot of them, and we wanted to make sure that they were going to be happy. So we've done a lot of things they wanted to see done.
Trust me, as a major Larry Niven fan, you've made me happy.
Great.
Now, exactly what kind of a game is this?
This is a graphic adventure game that's told, there's a story that's told through the use of dialogue puzzles and inventory puzzles. And so you, as the person, in this case, you're playing Quinn, and you can see this is the name of the character you're playing.
And Quinn is an adventurer.
He's an adventurer. He likes life on the run. You can walk through this ship at your heart's delight using the graphic interface that we've created for this game. You can explore the ship that they're on, you can pick up items, you can combine items and talk to people that are also on the ship.
Right. Ken, you filled Return to Ring World with lots of things from the Ring World books, and it's a delight to see them. Mm-hmm. You've also put in some neat new stuff, like a balloon flight simulator. Why don't you tell us about the balloon flight simulator?
Sure. We let the player fly a balloon, and we're very faithful to ballooning. And so they pilot the balloon from the top of the Spill Mountains to the surface of Ring World. A very accurate way of piloting a balloon is changing altitude to find the direction you need to go in. And so we've given that new twist to adventure gaming is this ballooning simulation.
So instead of having a simulator of a spacecraft or an airplane, here you've got a balloon simulator.
Ballooning simulation.
That's pretty outrageous in Ring World, where you've got all this other high technology. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got the famous spaceport ledge where starships have docked at Ring World. Right. And you get to see that here, don't you?
That's right. You get to put together a ship from other ships that are on the spaceport ledge and then fly that ship to the top of the ring wall, and it's very gorgeous looking art. You have to see it.
It is amazing. I mean, as a fan of Ringworld and having read these stories, seeing all of the elements of Ringworld come alive, the spaceport ledge and the other things, was a treat. And you even show us the Fist of God.
Fist of God. It's one of the most awesome looking artifacts on Ringworld, and if you've read his books, you know how it was formed, and we were very, very faithful to what we had descriptions of.
Ken, thanks a lot for what you've done with this game. It's a lot of fun, and I loved seeing Ringworld on my own.
Sure.
And now here's our ship's co-pilot, Darla, and she'll give you all the details for your own journey through the Ringworld.
Warren, it's easy sailing through Ringworld. All you have to do is call us. Return to Ringworld is a CD-ROM game for your IBM PC-compatible computer. It's based on Larry Niven's most famous work and is the ultimate game of hide-and-seek, where you are a fugitive from every society in the known space universe. Josh, isn't there something romantic about being a fugitive?
I don't know, Darla. One-armed man never turned me on, but this game does. Join a desperate crew of renegades in their fantastic trek back to Ringworld. Journey through the catacombs of Ringworld's flip tube system, descend the Spill Mountains in a hot air balloon. Ringworld is a vast land of beauty and excitement, but it is also the hiding place of a dramatic technology that may lay waste to all known space.
This dynamic program comes with a full stereo CD quality soundtrack and has digitized sound effects and speech. Return to Ringworld provides hours of entertainment at the fantastically low price of $59.95 plus shipping and handling. I know a one-armed man doesn't turn you on, but Jim Latta's got one heck of an arm that I know will turn on our fans. Jim?
Thanks, Darla. My special guest today is Michael Moore, who is one of the co-founders and craftsmen of Proper Effects. Mike's company is behind much of the exquisite hand props and weapons seen on DS9, Next Gen, and the upcoming Star Trek movie, Generations. Mike has brought with him a very special piece to share with us today. Mike, what'd you bring?
This is Patrick Stewart's stunt Borg arm from the episode Best of Both Worlds.
Now, this was used in the sequence where Data has constructed the containment area for Patrick Stewart once he's been transformed into the Borg. And it's used, what, in a stunt sequence?
Yes, it's used in a stunt sequence for safety reasons, and so it doesn't damage the actual hero unit.
Now, what separates a stunt unit from a hero unit?
A stunt unit is usually constructed of rubber and soft materials so it doesn't injure the actor.
Interesting, interesting. Now, I got a chance to see the hero prop at your shop. What made that different from this piece?
This is a stunt piece constructed of rubber.
Right.
The hero piece was was constructed of aluminum and brass with a radio control system in it.
To control
all the movements.
Mike, I really want to thank you for coming today and sharing this with us. And Warren, I've got a feeling your next guest might be needing this.
Prepare to be assimilated. Hugh the Borg himself, Jonathan Del Arco, will be here when we return. Of all the various aliens that have been created for Star Trek, perhaps the most disturbing are the Borg. They're biomechanical symbiotes having no conception of individuality. Today, we're offering this Borg ship along with an autographed photo of my next guest. He's actor Jonathan Del Arco, Hugh the Borg, who did something unthinkable for that race. He became an individual. Jonathan, glad you could join us as an individual today. When you played Hugh the Borg, what were some of the challenges involved in creating and portraying that character?
Disturbing, huh? You call my people disturbing.
Well, yes, they are.
I think we're a very kind race.
As long as you don't mind getting assimilated.
Yes, right. The challenges were wearing the costume. That was the worst challenge of that acting job.
Why so? I mean, it was impressive makeup.
Well, I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I took the job, because I had never seen the Borg before at that point. And the only inkling I had towards the fact that they were sort of mechanical was the script, which was brilliantly written. and which was all I had to draw from, because I'd never seen the aliens before, so I had no idea what they looked like, how they moved, and all that. And I remember my first costume fitting when they started just like, you know, they put you in like one full outfit, and then they put you in another like bodysuit, and they started like slapping on these like pieces of you know, rubber, like, you know, Goodyear tires around your legs, and piece by piece by piece. After like 2 hours, I was sort of in this thing.
After 2 hours, you were wondering if they were done yet, and they said we're halfway there.
Right, if halfway there, and then you do the makeup, but the costume was really, really grueling.
You had also, though, the challenge of portraying a creature who had at one point no individuality, and then acquired individuality, and then maybe lost it, maybe didn't lose it. How did you go about creating that character? How did you portray that?
Anthony Hopkins, I think it was, who when he was reading the script to Silence of the Lambs, said he heard the voice of Lecter, you know, in his head, and that's kind of what it was like. I heard when I was reading the script, I heard what it sounded like, and from there, I realized that there was a huge level of innocence that was occurring, and that this creature was sort of being born for the first time, and sort of bewilderment towards the world, and we progressed it along so that you saw the development of an individual in front of your eyes.
Why is it you think the Borg are so interesting to us?
I think that, well, we're all fascinated by the fear of losing your mind, and I think of losing your sense of identity and our freedom, you know, to be able to say, I like this, I like that, you know, especially in America. I think we're very accustomed to being free to choose, for the most part, whatever we want to do with our lives, and, you know, we have choice, freedom of choice, and I think that we're all fascinated by the idea of you know, a sort of Nazi-esque kind of group that imposes their morals and stuff.
We are fascinated by what we fear the most.
Absolutely.
Jonathan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And now, here's how you can have your own fearful Borg ship, along with a great signed photo of Jonathan as Hugh the Borg.
Now, for the first time, the most feared spacecraft in the universe can be yours, the Borg ship. This monolithic machine comes with an interior light and authentic sounds recreated from the original sound effects masters. Talk about realism. I feel like I'm about to be assimilated every time the Borg ship sounds off. Assimilate this awesome ship into your Star Trek memorabilia collection for only $39.95 by calling Borg. The very name strikes trepidation in the hearts of Starfleet.
You know, Josh, Bjorn Borg used to get the same reaction on the tennis court. I just thought you'd like to know. You not only get the Borg ship, but as an added bonus, we are including an autographed 8x10 color glossy of Jonathan Del Arco as Hugh the Borg at no extra cost to you. This is a Sci-Fi Trader exclusive, so call, and for just $39.95 plus shipping and handling, you get both the Borg ship and the autographed picture of Hugh the Borg. That's a package that's hard to beat and is available only here on the Trader.
Resistance is futile, human. Prepare to be assimilated by the Borg. The process will be painless.
Star Trek has always been different from any other show on television. It was driven by ideas and managed to rise above normal television fare. Now Dave Marinaccio has written a wonderful book that looks at Star Trek and shows you how those ideas that made Star Trek so wonderful can be used in real life. Dave summarized Star Trek best when he said, "Great people talk about ideas, average people talk about things, and small people talk about people." This book is a pleasure to read. You'll smile at some of the things he tells you, laugh at others, while all the time you'll be remembering Star Trek and why you love it.
All I really need to know I learned from watching Star Trek is an entertaining collection of down-to-earth philosophy. This book is a fabulous handbook for dealing with some of the strange life forms and alien civilization we all encounter every day. And if you saw some of the crew here at the Trader, you'd know what I was talking about. But this is not just a great book. It's a collector's item because Dave Marinaccio, the book's author, will be signing every copy that is ordered, all for the extremely low price of $14.95. That's $14.95 for a signed first edition in hardback. To pass up this deal would be highly illogical.
I thought your ears were starting to look a little pointed, Darla. I'm a major trekker, and this book you can read and reread and find new things to enjoy. So this signed copy of All I Really Need to Know I Learned from Watching Star Trek will be transported into your life. And at the same time, if you'd like any of the great Sci-Fi Channel merchandise, like this cool t-shirt I'm wearing, they can also be yours by calling.
Now here's a review of what we featured on today's show. First up, the 2001 commemorative poster. This dramatic rendering by famed artist Robert McCall is only $49.95, and every one is signed by the film's star, Gary Lockwood.
Return to Ringworld, the dynamic CD-ROM for the PC, is the ultimate game of hide and seek. In this adventure, you're a fugitive from every society in known space, all played on the most amazing worlds ever created in science fiction, Larry Niven's Ringworld. For $59.95, let Ringworld entertain and thrill you.
The Borg ship, the most feared craft in the universe. It has sounds, it has lights, it has everything you want for only $39.95. Plus, you get this signed portrait of Jonathan Del Arco as Hugh the Borg, absolutely free. This is a Sci-Fi Trader exclusive package that is hard to beat, all for just $39.95. Psychotic computers, assimilation by the Borg, artificial worlds. It's enough to make me think that machines are taking over. Warren, say it isn't so.
Well, Darla, I see the situation, but I fail to see the problem. As the American author Elbert Hubbard noted, one machine can do the work of 50 ordinary men, but no machine can do the work of one extraordinary man. I'm Warren James, and this is the Sci-Fi Trader. Till next time, just be your extraordinary self, and you'll have nothing to worry about.
Spaced Out Ads, A New Solar System, and Robert Goddard, the father of American rocketry, on Inside Space, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. Now stay tuned for amazing stories next on the Sci-Fi Channel.